Hello everybody, Shadow SP here, and today we're going to be talking about some Granblue fantasy. Let's get into it. What are we talking about today? It's going to be that series of weapons, the one, the only series of weapons that matters. Yes, that's right, the Dark Opus weapons. Talking about what they are, why they're so good, and how to get them. Alright, so anyone who's seen grids online will see that the Dark Opus weapon is in every single one of them. There's a reason for that. It's very, very good. It really is. Now, when we're talking about getting the Dark Opus weapon, it's actually not that hard. We have to clear the raid battle, Dark Rapture. Technically, you don't have to clear it as long as you can get these shadow substances some other way, but I don't think that you can get them any other. Can you get them any other way? I don't know. Anyway, the point is, take those shadow substances once again. Go to your favorite place in the world, the shop, and you take them over here to the weapons tab, where you go to Dark Opus. Now, there are two different Dark Opus weapons. There's the Repudiation series and the Renunciation series. Repudiation is normal mod, so it's the primal skills, and Dark Opus Renunciation is the Omega mod. So you're going to be going here for your free-to-play summoned boosted Opus. Over here is for the Gacha Summon boosted Opus. There is actually a use case for having both for each element, but at the beginning, you will want to focus on whatever you have. Now, there's one in stock for each element. There is a Fire Axe, Earth Harp, Wind Spear, Water Staff, Light Sword, and Dark Katana, and these are the same between both series. They're the same weapon. It's just they have different skills, right? So you can, if you click on one of these, you'll be able to see it has Iron Flame's Majesty. That's the one that's boosted by Colossus. Whereas over here, it boosts fire. Just it's Inferno's Majesty, which is one of the ones that's boosted by Agni. There, almost lost my mind there for a second. All right, so. You can see they come with they cost stones, they cost quartz, they cost these shadow substances, which you can trade in for the this is the normal drop. There's the Dark Rapture raid also drops these. This shadow substance is also the host mat for the high level Dark Rapture, Dark Rapture quest. And you can see you can only get these from this quest, so you do have to clear it. You can technically leech it, but whatever. Alright, so let's go ahead and buy a sword. We're going to improve our light, because we like to improve our light. So we got a sword. It comes in at the very beginning. Where is it? There. Comes in at the very beginning with just a Big Majesty, which at the end point, the end goal, is the same as the Big Majesty that you get on the Draconics, so it ends up as a 20% boost to attack and a 20% boost to HP, which is pretty good. It's a pretty solid way to start your grid, more or less. This is why one of the reasons why it's a staple is because it just has the HP and raw attack needed to keep everything put together. So what do we take to uncap these? Alright, let's set the series up. Alright, so first uncap. Go in, look here. It costs 10 of the M2 Omega Anima, which is kind of expensive. 10 red papers, which is like mildly expensive at this point in the game, but after we get this stuff, we won't really need red papers ever again, so whatever. Like, it's fine to spend them. It also costs 5 more of the shadow substance. So, you know, you'll be farming the Dark Rapture normal a decent amount to get all of your Dark Opus up to 4 stars. You'll be, if you're doing the Knickknack Academy, you'll get all of all the required materials to both purchase and get it up to 4 stars from rewards from that. So, do your quests. It does tell you exactly what to do, and it's not hard to follow, so it's worth doing. Alright, so once you've got it up to 4 stars, I've already done this to the staff, just so we can make sure that we have it. How do we get to 5 stars? This list of materials is a little bit more annoying. So, first of all, requires a gold bar. You'll see that right here. You can farm for these. They're very low drop rate. So that means that if you're not doing specifically Rise of the Beasts, is the best way to get gold bars. But if you're not doing that, or buying them from Guild War, or farming them out in Arcarum, if you're gonna do the Xenomilitus for gold bars, because that is an option, but it's one that most people won't do. Then yeah, you'll just be doing your daily gold bar raids, or joining like Akasha or something, and hoping that you get the 0.2% drop in the blue chest. It's how it is. The other things are these Bahamut horns from Proto Bahamut high level. Not too bad. He drops a decent number of these on death. We have hollow keys from clearing the Akasha raid. I have some because I've got some tenacity loot. I haven't cleared Akasha on this account yet. And then we have 50 of the ultimate units from Ultimate Bahamut high level. Not too hard. These 3 are time consuming because you have to join a lot of the raids, but they're not bad. Then we have these, which are Astaroth anima. These are pretty bad. This is from a co-op quest, the Throes of Death co-op quest. I have actually cleared it. I haven't shown it off because I wanted to make sure everything was a little bit more stable before I did. Basically, you want to be able to full auto it because, at least in my case, I don't want to be bringing in other people. And if you are going to chain it or train it with some other people, which would be the quickest way to do it, just make sure you all bring fast setups that can do a lot of damage fast, because it is a tanky raid. It really is. It's not really a raid. It's a 4-man. Anyway, so what else is here? Well, there you've got these little blue swirly things. Those are Tears of the Apocalypse. Those come from Dark Rapture Hard. So the high level Dark Rapture is where you get these. It's also notably where you get the Tidings. Now Tidings, unlike the Tears, this is not a drop. This is a trophy reward that you get for clearing Dark Rapture high level with a party that is entirely of a specific element. So in the case of the staff, you need to clear Dark Rapture high level with a water only party. It means your front line, back line, you can't have any non-water characters. If you have a non-water character, it does not work. And that's the same for every other element. You know, wind, earth, fire, light, dark. You need to have a party of exclusively that element in order to uncap that opus for that element. Which is a little annoying, but we've already got some Draconics that we've worked on, so those can tide us over in the meantime while we're doing some of this other stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and use I would go ahead and use these. I'm probably gonna uncap the water one. Like, that's my highest priority at the moment. I'll tell you why later. But for now, let's talk more about the weapons themselves. Because looking at them, you'll see that it can only be equipped one of these weapons, Dark Opus or Draconics. We talked about that when we talked about the Draconic series. But they are mutually exclusive. So your Dark Opus weapons and your Draconic weapons can't equip both, unless the Draconic weapon has been provenanced, which is expensive and endgame. Alright, so every Dark Opus weapon shares the same charge attack, which is, by default, just plain damage plus, or not plain damage, it is normal damage, it is massive damage, so it's a normal SSR damage, and it gives your entire team a crest of your element. Now, our parties don't care about crests. The only thing we have that cares about crests right now, I believe, is Mana Diver. And that only just needs to have one crest. I think there's a couple other class skills that do stuff with crests in like Warlock or whatever, but I'm not that familiar. I don't know every skill in this game by heart. So I can't really tell you, but there are, depending on who you have, you might care about these crests. But that's not it. That's not the end of it. There's also extra effects based on what your keys that you put into this weapon are. So let's go take a look. We can never escape this place. Shirokarte has a stranglehold on the market. So rather than telumas, we're going to go ahead and look at pendulums. Pendulums are the weapons, are the skills for these weapons. So there are 4 pendulums that go in the second slot. Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and Delta. And that would be normal attack cap, skill cap, charge attack cap, and chain burst cap, respectively. Numbers being 10% normal attack, 50% skill cap, 15% charge attack cap, and 50% chain burst cap. Now, not all of these are created equal. The charge attack cap one, specifically, is good if your grid is super weak, but once your grid gets stronger, i.e. once we get to the point where we're fielding things like Eniad weapons even. So like, we're talking like back in the day, this was a thing that people would do, was use the charge attack cap, because back in the day, grids were super weak. And we're talking like 4-star Opus, charge attack cap. It would help you deal the damage needed to do like Grimnir farming or something. Anyway, the point is, 15% is not very good. That's the same value as the skills on the Eniad weapons, right? The Fire Staff, the Light Katana, those both have a 15% cap that's on their skills. So that's not particularly great. Normal attack is amazing if you're doing a normal attack team, right? Because you're always normal attacking, you always get the 10% bonus. And skill cap is amazing if you're doing a very skill-heavy team, because, I mean, 50% is a big number. And that's halfway to the grid skill cap maximum by itself. So if you have the Dark Opus skill cap, plus the like Proving Grounds weapons with Special Awakening, those both would give 25%. So 2 of those, you'd hit the skill cap with 3 weapons. The skill cap up, win 3 weapons. That's amazing. Skill teams are very viable. So like that's a good it's a good cap. It's a good key. The chain burst key is a little bit more niche, and the reason that it's niche and not completely unusable is because the charge attack on your Dark Opus changes based on which pendulums you have inserted. So sometimes you might want to insert a different pendulum to get a different effect, right? So normal attack, on your charge attack, you'll get tank encounter, which is not amazing. Tank encounter is never my favorite buff, because it implies we need to take damage. Also, it does kind of synergize, but you're also charge attacking with your normal attack team, so like, I don't know. The skill 1 gives you a skill nuke. Pretty simple, straightforward. It's like a 600,000 damage skill nuke, something in that neighborhood, before modifiers. The charge attack 1 gives you charge bar gain up, and the chain burst 1 gives a flat 10% charge bar to your team. And that's pretty good. And you'll see these effects are listed on the pendulums if you click on them for the details. Right, you get it here: boosted charge bar gain, skill damage. It's one of those things you got to kind of do your due diligence to read and understand what you're getting into. The default, if you're just gonna go with suggestions, the default configuration is the beta pendulum. 50% skill cap is pretty amazing. There's definitely occasions for the alpha pendulum, and the delta pendulum is sometimes food, but the gamma or the charge attack pendulum, the charge attack cap pendulum is basically not used because it's just so small of an increase compared to the other ones. Okay, so there is a third skill that you can insert once you get to level 200, and we have a few of them here. We're ignoring ignore these. These are not important right now. If you need information about your Dark Opus weapons, as a budding intermediate player to budding intermediate to maybe a little bit above intermediate, you don't need to know about your extremity pendulums or your the stuff up here that's requiring these end game materials. So by default, clearing Dark Rapture High level, you're going to get these tiers of the Apocalypse, and that will unlock the ability to buy 4 pendulums. You'll get Strength, Zeal, Strife, and Prosperity. Strength is Stamina, Zeal is Enmity, both big in magnitude. Strife is multi-attack rate, and Prosperity is Progression. Now, Progression, I don't remember if we actually talked about, but it is. I think we have, because it's on some of the Ennead skills. But it's actually boostable for our farmables if we use an Omega Dark Opus. So it's percent elemental attack per turn up to a certain value. And we've got Strife, which is the multi-attack, and yeah, so each of these has values that are based on, or each of these. Sorry. So let's talk magnitudes, right? So it's big stamina, which is 17% at max HP, which is enormous because most of your weapons that you get that have stamina. So there's a lot of medium stamina out there, and big stamina tends to not. Tends to be like we got Neelakantha, I think has big stamina. So that's 17%, but that's 17% plus a very small amount of HP. And no attack. So fuse and Neelakantha with a skill level 20 Colossus Cane and increase the amount of HP it gives. And you're partly to how good the Dark Opus is in one slot. Basically. Alright, so then the Zeal one at 1% HP is 40% more attack or something like that. And the multi-attack is 6%, and the value for the progression is 15%, which scales up over 10 turns. Charge attacks, we're looking at healing for stamina, which is pretty good. It's not amazing, but it does keep you healthy. We've got a 25% damage cut for Zeal, which has some niche uses. If we're talking I want to use Paladin plus Dark Opus main hand, something like that could give us a full cut in an element that doesn't usually have it. The Strife charge attack gives you more multi-attack, and then the Prosperity one gives you Echoes, which is it's okay. Generally, what we're going to use here is, as our default configuration, is stamina. We're going to use strength, because it's the easiest one to understand and manage. Now, it's not the end of the story when we're talking about the Dark Opus weapons. We have only scratched the surface, because there are more skills available. Even before we talk about these ones that are endgame, because I don't really want to talk about those that much right now. Those would be more appropriate to talk about later. But these, the chains, are relatively appropriate to talk about now, because they're just more skills. Just more third slot skills that just are easy to understand. So these chains, they require this material that drops from the Belial raid, which is not one that we have unlocked, and not one that we will clear for probably ever. But they do it does offer some new options for your Dark Opus. So you get this one. Temperament is crit rate plus attack. So if you need to fill out your crit rate, you can do that. Restoration is it's medium majesty, so you can have the Dark Opus with big majesty and medium majesty. So if you need a ton more HP and a bit more regular attack, could be good. Glorification is it's going to be your charge attack specs and your chain burst specs both increase. Pretty strong. If you need that. Now these tend to be more of along the lines of niche skills, things that people don't usually pick, because in a lot of cases stamina is going to be better because of how things multiply together. Glorification is kind of interesting in like wind, because we don't have farmable options for damage cap, or for our CA damage and cap. Not really good ones like this. So it's like it's an option. It's not amazing, but it's there if we need it. So then we go down to more interesting skills, where we have the Chain of Temptation, which just gives a ton of buffs. At the cost of 30% of your max HP. Basically, there's a list of like a dozen or so buffs that it gives at the start of battle. It lasts for 4 turns, and then they're gone. But if you have a battle that only lasts for 4 turns, you have for the cost of a key, you get a 50% normal attack up, some damage cap up, some dodge rate, charge attack damage and chain burst damage up, your damage caps up. It's good. It's a good key. It's for burst, but it's a good key. All right, you got the Chain of Forbiddens, which will cause you to take 10,000 plain damage when you charge attack, but increase the damage and cap. Yeah. Okay. So you've also got Depravity, which is going to give you plain damage to foes when your HP is low, and cause you to take damage every turn, which is really weird. It's not really that good. And then you have Falsehood, which is a really interesting one, which causes your charge bar gain to go down by 100%. You get 20% damage, 20% echoes, and that's it. That's the effect of the key. But they all have charge attack effects. And the Falsehood one is particularly interesting because it gives double strike to all your allies. And there are ways to get around the 100% charge bar lowered. The name of the game is Ignition. If you set your charge bar, you don't care about how much your charge bar charge bar gain is lowered. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these effects on charge attacks over here aren't that important. The Glorification one, the one that we talked about, it gives more charge attack cap up, more charge attack damage up. So that's kind of interesting because it synergizes. And the crit one gives Keen, so that's supplemental damage on crits. So that's also synergizes. Beyond that, though, the charge like the chains tend not to be used for their charge attack effects, but rather their grid effects, right? I mean, and that's the case for the pendulums before too. Like these are more of necessarily grid pieces. Like the Dark Opus is always in your grid, even if you're not main handing it. It's just you sometimes have main hand options. The only chain that really like I generally care about is the only two chains, I guess, the Chain of Temptation and the Falsehood one, depending on which element you're looking at. If you have an element that can main hand the Opus, that is an element Opus that can be main handed by like Berserker or something, then Falsehood's pretty good. Basically, any class that can set your charge bar to 100%, Falsehood's pretty good because it gives you a lot of burst on turn 1, maybe turn 2, or turn 3, depending on how things work. And then then the Temptation I generally put in the other two. Basically, that was my use case for having the Opus for both the Omega and normal mod. Is I can just put the chains in one and leave them there because I don't like switching chains and stuff around, because like if you use one and then you replace the skill, you have to buy it again, and that's wasteful. I don't like wasting. So instead, I decided to do something that some people would see as wasteful, but I see as an investment. Alright, well, I think I've blabbered on for long enough about Dark Opus weapons. The point is, they're an offensive version of the Draconic weapons, but better. Like they do more damage, obviously because of the cap up, but they impact your grid stats more because they have better skills. Gotta remember, the Draconic weapon's first skill is not good. It's okay at best. For Dark Opus, every skill is good. Alright. Well, we can talk about doing stuff like transcending Opus and stuff later, because that's not the point of this part of the progression. We're not at that point yet. We don't even have a 5-star Opus, so we're just gonna ignore it. We'll work toward getting our 5 stars in every element. I'm not I have Draconic weapons to tide me over in some elements, so I don't need to feel too bad about not getting Dark Opus in like Dark or whatever right now, because I'm working. I can work on it with Draconics, and the whole bottleneck is going to be those gold bricks. So if you are not doing what I'm doing and you're letting yourself do events, make sure not to miss Rise of the Beasts. If you do Rise of the Beasts, there's 13 gold bricks right here in the shop that you can easily get. You know, because you can get these gold nuggets from that Rise of the Beast event. Grab these gold bricks. Get out of there. You can do the same with these 4 symbol stones. They're not that hard to get. Get more gold bricks. Get out of there. It's worth it, because that means that this means that you don't have to farm for gold bricks to get your Opus. I do, but I've signed up for this. Alright. So, thanks for watching. If anyone has any comments or concerns, questions about the Dark Opus weapons, I will answer them as best I can. They kind of play off of the grid construction theory that we've talked about, and how they're just the most efficient weapon to put in any given slot. They're more efficient at everything that every other weapon does. So that's why they're in there. Alright. Well, Sorry this was so long. Signing out. Have a good one.